Captain Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of Seoul's Pride watching the stars through the main viewing screen. The massive human warship moved silently through the dark void of space. Its hull gleamed with a metallic shine that reflected the distant starlight. The ship was huge, like a floating city in space, with powerful engines that could take it anywhere in the galaxy. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and machines working. Kim Tae-ho was a tall man with sharp eyes and graying hair at his temples. He had been commanding warships for 20 years and had never lost a battle. His crew trusted him completely because he always kept them safe, no matter how dangerous the mission became. First Officer Park So-min sat at her station checking the ship's systems. She was a skilled officer who had worked with Captain Kim for 5 years. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panels as she monitored everything from life support to weapons systems. Park So-min was known for her quick thinking and ability to solve problems under pressure. At the weapons station, Lee Dong-wook prepared the ship's defense systems. He was the best gunner in the human fleet and could hit targets that other officers couldn't even see. His hands rested on the weapon controls, ready to fire at a moment's notice. Lee Dong-wook had grown up on a military base and had been training for combat since he was a child. Chief Engineer Choi Yun worked in the engine room, making sure all systems ran perfectly. She was a genius with machines and could fix anything that broke. Her team of engineers followed her orders without question because they knew she understood the ship better than anyone else. Choi Yun had designed many of the ship's systems herself. Seoul's Pride was on a routine patrol mission in the outer rim of the galaxy. This area was known for being dangerous because many alien species lived here. Some were friendly, but others were hostile toward humans. The human government sent warships here to protect human colonies and trading ships from alien attacks. The ship's sensors suddenly detected something unusual ahead. Multiple contacts appeared on the screen, moving in formation toward their position. The contacts were moving fast, and there were many of them. Captain Kim Tae-ho immediately ordered his crew to battle stations. Red lights flashed throughout the ship as alarms sounded. Crew members ran to their positions with practiced efficiency. Everyone knew what to do because they had trained for this moment countless times. The ship's weapons powered up and defensive shields activated automatically. Park So-min studied the sensor readings carefully and reported to the captain. The contacts were alien ships, and there were 50 of them approaching in attack formation. The ships were unlike anything in the human database, with organic-looking hulls that seemed to pulse with strange energy. The alien ships were beautiful in a terrifying way. They looked like living creatures swimming through space rather than mechanical vessels. Their hulls were smooth and curved with no visible weapons or engines. The ships seemed to glow with an inner light that changed colors as they moved. Captain Kim Tae-ho ordered the communication officer to try contacting the alien fleet. The human ship sent out standard greeting messages in multiple languages, hoping to establish peaceful contact. But the aliens did not respond to any attempts at communication. Instead, they continued approaching at high speed. As the alien ships came closer, the crew could see them more clearly through the viewing screen. The vessels were massive, each one nearly as large as Seoul's Pride. Their organic hulls rippled and pulsed like the skin of some giant space creature. The sight was both fascinating and frightening. Suddenly, the lead alien ship opened a communication channel. A face appeared on the main screen that made several crew members gasp. The alien had pale blue skin with large black eyes and no visible nose or mouth. Instead, it communicated through some kind of telepathic ability that translated into human speech. The alien identified itself as Commander Vextar of the Valkyrie Empire. He spoke with a voice that sounded like music but carried an undertone of menace. The alien commander looked at Captain Kim Tae-ho with obvious disdain, as if he were examining an insect commander. Vextar began speaking in a tone that showed he considered humans to be inferior beings. He explained that the Valkyrie Empire had conquered dozens of star systems and that resistance was futile. The alien commander seemed amused by the sight of a single human warship facing his entire fleet. The Valkyrie leader demanded that Captain Kim Tae-ho surrender his ship immediately. He promised that if the humans gave up without a fight, they would be treated as slaves rather than being killed outright. Commander Vextar spoke as if he were offering a generous gift to creatures beneath his notice. Captain Kim Tae-ho listened to the alien demands without showing any emotion on his face. His crew watched him carefully, waiting for orders. The captain had faced overwhelming odds before and had always found a way to win. He studied the alien commander's face, looking for weaknesses. The alien ships had formed a perfect sphere around Sol's Pride, trapping the human vessel in the center. There was no way to escape without fighting through the entire alien fleet. The Valkyrie had positioned themselves expertly, showing that they were experienced in space. Combat Commander Vexstar continued his speech, explaining that the Valkyrie were a warrior race that had never lost a battle. Their bioships were living creatures bred specifically for war and enhanced with advanced technology. The alien commander seemed proud of his species' achievements. The Valkyrie leader described how they had defeated other species that had tried to resist their expansion. Each conquest had been easier than the last because most aliens fled when faced with the Valkyrie fleet. Commander Vexstar expected humans to react the same way. Captain Kim Tae-ho finally responded to the alien ultimatum. His voice was calm and steady as he informed Commander Vexstar that the aliens were in human territory and should withdraw immediately. The captain spoke politely but firmly, making it clear that surrender was not an option. The alien commander's expression changed from amusement to anger. He could not believe that a single human ship would dare to defy the mighty Valkyrie Empire commander. Vexstar had expected the humans to beg for mercy, not issue demands of their own. The Valkyrie leader gave Captain Kim Tae-ho one final opportunity to surrender. He warned that the human ship would be destroyed within minutes if they chose to fight. The alien commander seemed genuinely confused by human behavior, because no other species had ever shown such defiance. Captain Kim Tae-ho turned to his crew with a slight smile on his face. He had spent years studying alien psychology and understood that the Valkyrie were used to easy victories against frightened opponents, but humans were different, and the aliens were about to learn. With the captain ordered his crew to prepare for battle, each officer acknowledged the command and began final preparations. Park So-min coordinated defensive systems while Lee Dong-wook armed the weapons. Choi Yun increased power output from the engines. The tension on the bridge was thick as both sides prepared for combat. The alien ships began moving into attack positions while Sol's Pride readied its defenses. The stage was set for a battle that would determine whether humans could defend themselves against a superior alien force. Commander Vexstar cut the communication link and began issuing orders to his fleet in the Valkyrie language. The alien bioships started glowing brighter as they prepared to attack. The peaceful encounter had become a deadly confrontation that would test human resolve against overwhelming odds. The Valkyrie attack began with a thunderous roar that shook the very fabric of space itself. 50 alien bioships launched their assault on Sol's Pride with the confidence of predators attacking helpless prey. Commander Vexstar watched from his command vessel, expecting to see the human ship destroyed within the first few minutes of combat. Streams of bright energy erupted from the organic alien vessels, creating a deadly light show in the darkness of space. The bioweapons were designed to overwhelm enemy defenses through sheer volume of fire rather than precision. The Valkyrie had used this tactic successfully against dozens of other species. The energy blasts struck Sol's Pride from every direction, creating brilliant flashes of light as they impacted the ship's defensive shields. Captain Kim Tae-ho stood calmly on the bridge, watching the display without any sign of concern. His crew worked efficiently at their stations, monitoring the ship's systems. First Officer Park So-min coordinated the defensive systems with practiced skill. Her fingers danced across the control panels as she managed power distribution and shield strength. The human defensive technology was far more advanced than the aliens realized, and could absorb tremendous amounts of punishment. The ship's shields held firm against the alien assault, glowing with a blue energy field that surrounded the entire vessel. The Valkyrie weapons were powerful, but they were designed for fighting against other organic technology. The shields were engineered specifically to defend against energy-based attacks. Lee Dong-wook monitored the weapon systems while analyzing the alien attack patterns. His experienced eyes studied each enemy ship, looking for weaknesses in their formation. The Valkyrie were attacking in predictable waves, following instinctive behaviors rather than strategic planning. Chief Engineer Choi Yan worked frantically in the engine room, ensuring that all systems operated. At peak efficiency, the ship's power core hummed with contained energy, providing more than enough power to maintain shields and weapons. Simultaneously, her engineering team followed her orders with military precision. The first wave of alien attacks accomplished nothing except to reveal the limitations of Valkyrie technology. The bioships fired their weapons in synchronized bursts, but the energy dissipated harmlessly against the human shields. The alien commanders began to realize that this battle would not be as easy as they had expected. Commander Vexstar became increasingly frustrated as he watched his fleet's weapons fail to penetrate the human defenses. The Valkyrie had never encountered a species that could withstand their biotechnology. For more than a few seconds, every other race had either fled or been destroyed quickly. The alien commander ordered his ships to increase their attack intensity, believing that overwhelming firepower would eventually break through the human shields. The bioships responded by channeling more energy into their weapons, causing them to glow brighter and fire more rapidly. Captain Kim Tae-ho studied the enemy formation through the main viewing screen, noting how the alien ships moved in perfect synchronization. The Valkyrie fought like a school of fish, following biological instincts rather than tactical doctrine. This made them predictable and vulnerable to experienced human strategists. The second wave of attacks was more intense than the first, with the alien bioships pouring incredible amounts of energy into their assault. The space around Soul's Pride lit up like a star as hundreds of energy blasts struck the shields. Simultaneously, the display was spectacular but ultimately ineffective. Park So-min reported that the shields were holding at 90% strength despite the increased alien firepower. The human defensive systems were designed with multiple redundancies and could withstand far more punishment than the aliens were capable of delivering. The crew began to understand that their enemies, despite their impressive numbers, were fighting with outdated tactics. The Valkyrie relied on biological superiority and brute force rather than the technological innovation that characterized human warfare. The aliens had become overconfident from too many easy victories. Lee Dong-wook requested permission to begin targeting enemy vessels, but Captain Kim Tae-ho ordered him to wait. The captain wanted to study the alien attack patterns more thoroughly before committing to offensive action. Knowledge of enemy capabilities was crucial for achieving total victory. Commander Vexstar became desperate as his fleet continued to fail against the human defenses he had promised his superiors that the conquest of human space would be swift and decisive. The inability to destroy a single human warship was becoming a serious problem for his reputation. Alien commander decided to commit his entire fleet to a massive coordinated assault. All 50 bioships began charging their weapons, simultaneously preparing to unleash their full power against the human vessel. The attack would drain their energy reserves, but Commander Vexstar believed it would be enough to break through. Choi Yana detected the massive energy buildup in the alien fleet and reported it to the bridge. The enemy ships were glowing like small suns as they prepared their ultimate attack. The chief engineer increased power to the shields in preparation for the incoming assault. The third wave of attacks was the most intense yet, with every alien ship firing at maximum power. The energy beams created a solid wall of destruction that completely surrounded Soul's Pride. The light was so bright that the crew had to shield their eyes from the viewing screen. The human shields flared with brilliant blue energy as they absorbed the tremendous assault. The defensive system strained under the enormous load but held firm. The ship shuddered slightly from the impact but remained completely intact and operational. Park So-min reported that the shields had dropped to 80% strength but were stabilizing quickly. The human technology had easily withstood the aliens' most powerful attack, proving the superiority of human engineering over biological weapon systems. Captain Kim Tae-ho smiled grimly as he realized that the enemy had revealed their full capabilities. The aliens had exhausted their energy reserves in the massive assault and would need time to recharge their bioweapons. This was the moment he had been waiting for. Commander Vexstar stared in disbelief at the undamaged human warship. His most powerful attack had failed completely and his fleet was now vulnerable. While their weapons recharged, the alien commander began to understand that he had made a terrible mistake in challenging the humans, the Valkyrie. Bioships dimmed noticeably as their energy reserves depleted from the massive attack. The organic vessels needed time to regenerate their power, just like living creatures needed rest after exertion. This biological limitation was about to become a fatal weakness. Lee Dong-wook looked at his captain with eager anticipation, knowing that the time for defensive tactics was over. The human warship had proven its defensive capabilities, and now it was time to demonstrate the true power of human weapons technology. Captain Kim Tae-ho gave a slight nod to his weapons officer and spoke the words that would change the course of the battle. The time for patience had ended, and now Seoul's pride would show the aliens what human warfare really meant. The hunter was about to become the hunted in the vast darkness of space. Captain Kim Tae-ho gave the order that would transform Seoul's pride from a defensive target into a weapon of destruction. The ship's systems immediately shifted from protective mode to full combat readiness as hidden weapon ports opened across the vessel's hull. The transformation was swift and terrifying to witness. The human warship had been designed with deception in mind, appearing to be a simple patrol vessel while hiding weapon systems that could challenge entire fleets. The defensive systems that had protected them so well were only the beginning of the ship's true capabilities. Lee Dong-wook's hands moved across his weapons console with deadly precision, activating systems that had remained hidden during the alien assault. Primary plasma cannons emerged from concealed positions along the ship's hull, their targeting systems immediately locking onto multiple enemy vessels. The first shots from Seoul's pride were devastating beyond anything the Valkyrie had imagined. Streams of superheated plasma tore through space at incredible speed, striking 3 alien bioships simultaneously. The organic vessels simply disintegrated upon impact, their living hulls unable to withstand the concentrated energy. Commander Vexstar watched in horror as his ships were destroyed with terrifying efficiency. The human weapons were unlike anything in Valkyrie experience, firing with surgical precision rather than the wild energy bursts his own fleet used. Each shot was calculated to achieve maximum destruction with minimal energy expenditure. Park So-min coordinated the ship's multiple weapon systems, creating overlapping fields of fire that made escape impossible for the alien vessels. The human tactical doctrine emphasized efficiency and adaptability, allowing them to adjust their strategy in real time based on enemy responses. The second volley of human weapons fire eliminated 5 more Valkyrie ships before they could even begin to maneuver. The bio vessels were designed for overwhelming weaker opponents through numbers, but they lacked the speed and agility needed to avoid precise human targeting systems. Chief Engineer Choi Yuna managed the massive power requirements needed to operate multiple weapon systems simultaneously. The human engineering philosophy focused on redundancy and efficiency, allowing the ship to maintain peak performance even under extreme combat conditions. The alien formation began to break apart as panic spread through the Valkyrie fleet. The bioships had never faced an enemy that could destroy them so easily, and their biological programming had no response for this situation. Many ships began firing wildly without proper targeting. Captain Kim Tae-ho studied the enemy's reaction with professional interest. The aliens were revealing their fundamental weakness by abandoning coordinated tactics in favor of individual survival instincts. This made them even more vulnerable to systematic human attack patterns. Lee Dong-wook switched to rapid-fire mode, using the ship's secondary weapons to eliminate smaller enemy vessels. The human weapon systems were modular and could be configured for any tactical situation, from precision strikes to area bombardment. The flexibility was overwhelming to enemies accustomed to rigid attack patterns. The third wave of human attacks destroyed 10 alien ships in less than 30 seconds. The plasma cannons fired in perfect sequence, creating a continuous stream of destruction that carved through the enemy formation like a blade through silk. The precision was beautiful and terrible. Commander Vexstar attempted to rally his remaining ships, but the Valkyrie were too shaken by the sudden reversal of fortune. Many bioships were already trying to flee while others attacked randomly without coordination. The disciplined alien fleet had become a chaotic mob in minutes. Park So-min identified the alien communication patterns and began jamming their coordination signals. The human electronic Warfare capabilities were far superior to anything the Valkyrie possessed, allowing them to disrupt enemy communications while maintaining perfect coordination among their own systems. The fourth volley of human fire eliminated the alien ships that were attempting to escape the Souls. Pride moved through space with predatory grace, its weapons tracking multiple targets simultaneously. The ship's sensors provided perfect battlefield awareness, making every shot count. Troy Yuna reported that all systems were operating at optimal efficiency despite the intense combat. The human technology was designed for sustained operations, allowing them to maintain peak performance throughout extended battles. The aliens had no equivalent to this engineering excellence. The Valkyrie bioships began exhibiting signs of panic as their formation collapsed completely. Some ships collided with each other in their desperate attempts to escape, while others fired on their own allies by mistake. The biological nature of their vessels made them vulnerable to emotional responses. Captain Kim Tae-ho recognized that the enemy was breaking and ordered his crew to press the advantage. The human warship accelerated toward the center of the alien formation. Where the remaining ships were clustered together, the move was bold but calculated to maximize destruction. Lee Dong-wook charged the ship's heavy weapon systems, preparing to deliver a devastating blow to the concentrated enemy forces. The targeting computer identified optimal firing solutions that would create maximum damage with each shot. The precision was inhuman in its perfection. The fifth wave of human attacks was the most destructive yet, with heavy plasma cannons firing simultaneously. At point-blank range, the concentrated firepower created a brief artificial sun in the darkness of space as multiple alien ships were vaporized instantly. Commander Vexstar realized that his fleet was being systematically destroyed by a single human warship. The bioships that had seemed so powerful were helpless against human weapons technology. The alien commander began to understand that his species had seriously underestimated humanity. The remaining Valkyrie ships were scattered and demoralized. With no effective command structure to coordinate their defense, the human electronic warfare had disrupted their communications, while the constant attacks had shattered their morale. The once mighty fleet was now a collection of frightened survivors. Park So-min reported that 35 alien ships had been destroyed, with only 15 remaining. The human warship had not even sustained minor damage. While accomplishing this incredible feat of destruction, the technological superiority was complete and undeniable. Captain Kim Tae-ho prepared to deliver the final blow to the surviving alien vessels. The battle had proven that human ingenuity and technology could overcome any numerical disadvantage. The crew worked with machine-like precision to complete their mission. The space around Souls Pride was filled with the debris of destroyed alien vessels, but the human ship continued its deadly work. The lesson was clear to any observers that challenging human military might would result in total destruction. The galaxy was about to learn a new respect for humanity. The battle had reached a critical turning point as Souls Pride continued its relentless assault on the remaining Valkyrie vessels. The 15 surviving alien ships were scattered across the battlefield, trying desperately to regroup while avoiding the deadly human weapons fire that had already claimed 35 of their comrades. Captain Kim Tae-ho studied the tactical display with the calm focus of a master strategist. He could see that the alien fleet was no longer fighting as a coordinated unit, but had devolved into individual ships acting on survival instincts alone. This presented an opportunity to strike at the heart of enemy command. Park So-min worked frantically at her station, analyzing the communication patterns between the surviving alien vessels. Her expertise in electronic warfare allowed her to identify which ship was serving as the temporary command center for the scattered Valkyrie fleet. The human sensors detected increased communication traffic from one particular bioship that was positioned slightly behind the others. This vessel was larger than the standard Valkyrie fighters and displayed different energy signatures, indicating it was likely the command ship for the entire fleet. Lee Dong-wook had been systematically destroying enemy vessels, but now focused his attention on the command ship. The elimination of enemy leadership would create chaos among the remaining aliens and make them even more vulnerable to human attack patterns. Commander Vexstar realized that his fleet was being methodically destroyed and attempted to coordinate a final desperate attack using the surviving ships. The alien commander knew that his only hope was to concentrate all remaining firepower on the human vessel before they could be eliminated individually. The Valkyrie bioships began moving toward each other in an attempt to form a defensive formation, but their movements were predictable and slow. The organic vessels lacked the speed and agility needed for effective tactical maneuvering in the face of superior human technology. Chief Engineer Choi Yuna monitored the ship's weapon systems as they prepared for the most challenging part of the battle. The human warship would need to deliver precise strikes while potentially under concentrated enemy fire. The engineering systems were pushed to their limits but held firm. Captain Kim Tae-ho ordered his crew to prepare the ship's most powerful weapon system. The kinetic projectile cannon was a devastating weapon that could accelerate metal slugs to near-light speed, but required enormous amounts of energy to operate effectively. The kinetic weapon system was a masterpiece of human engineering that combined advanced physics with practical battlefield application. The weapon could punch through virtually any known armor or shielding system, making it perfect for eliminating heavily protected command vessels. Park So-min rerouted power from non-essential systems to provide the massive energy requirements for the kinetic cannon. The human ship's power management systems were designed for exactly this kind of tactical flexibility, allowing maximum firepower when needed. Most of the remaining Valkyrie ships attempted their desperate final attack, firing all weapons simultaneously at Soul's Pride. The alien energy beams converged on the human vessel, creating a spectacular display of destruction that lit up the surrounding space like a miniature star. The human shields absorbed the combined alien firepower with relative ease, proving once again that human defensive technology was superior to anything the Valkyrie could produce. The ship shuddered slightly from the impact but remained completely operational and ready for combat. Lee Dong-wook locked the kinetic cannon onto the Valkyrie command ship, which was trying to escape behind the cover of its remaining escorts. The targeting system calculated the precise firing solution needed to intercept the fleeing vessel. Despite its evasive maneuvers, Commander Vexstar watched in growing desperation as his final attack failed to damage the human warship. The alien commander realized that his species had encountered something far beyond their understanding, and that defeat was now inevitable. The kinetic cannon fired with a sound like thunder that resonated through the hull of Soul's Pride. The metal projectile accelerated to incredible speed, creating a brief streak of light as it crossed the distance between the two vessels in less than a second. The projectile struck the Valkyrie command ship with devastating effect. The massive bio-vessel simply ceased to exist as the kinetic energy tore through its organic hull and detonated the internal power systems. The explosion was visible from incredible distances, with their command ship destroyed. The remaining Valkyrie vessels lost all coordination and began firing wildly in all directions. The biological programming that guided their actions could not function without central control, leading to complete chaos among the survivors. Several alien ships began attacking each other in their confusion, while others attempted to flee in random directions. The disciplined fleet that had seemed so threatening just minutes earlier had become a collection of panicked animals fighting for survival. Park So-min reported that the enemy communication network had collapsed completely, with no ship able to coordinate with the others. The human electronic warfare systems had successfully isolated each remaining vessel, making them easy targets for systematic elimination. Captain Kim Tae-ho recognized that the battle was essentially over but ordered his crew to complete their mission by eliminating the remaining threats. The scattered alien ships posed no significant danger but could potentially escape to report on human capabilities. Lee Dong-wook began picking off the confused alien vessels one by one, using precise shots that eliminated each target efficiently. The human weapons systems operated flawlessly even after the intense combat, allowing them to maintain peak performance throughout the battle. The remaining Valkyrie ships were destroyed in quick succession as they wandered aimlessly through space without leadership or coordination. The bio-vessels that had seemed so formidable were now helpless prey for the superior human hunter. Commander Vexstar died with his command ship, never understanding how his supposedly invincible fleet had been defeated so completely. The Valkyrie Empire had learned a harsh lesson about the dangers of underestimating human military capability. Chief Engineer Choi Yun-ah reported that all systems remained operational despite the intense battle. The human engineering excellence had allowed them to maintain peak performance throughout the engagement, proving the superiority of their technology over biological alternatives. The space around Sol's Pride was now filled with the debris of 50 destroyed alien vessels, while the human ship remained virtually undamaged. The victory was complete and decisive, sending a clear message about human military strength to any observers. The destruction of the Valkyrie command ship had created complete chaos among the remaining alien vessels. The bioships that had once moved with perfect coordination now wandered through space, like lost animals without any central guidance to direct their actions. Captain Kim Tae-ho watched the tactical display as the scattered enemy vessels began displaying increasingly erratic behavior. Several ships were firing randomly at empty space, while others had begun attacking their own allies. In their confusion, the biological programming that controlled them had completely broken down. The Sol's Pride moved through the battlefield like a predator among helpless prey. The human warship's weapon systems operated with mechanical precision, eliminating the confused alien vessels one by one. Each shot was calculated for maximum efficiency, requiring minimal energy while achieving total destruction. Park So-min coordinated the multiple weapon systems to create devastating crossfire patterns that caught the wandering alien ships in overlapping fields of destruction. The human tactical doctrine emphasized the complete elimination of enemy forces rather than simply achieving battlefield victory. Lee Dong-wook had switched to rapid-fire mode, using the ship's secondary weapons to eliminate the remaining bioships quickly. The alien vessels presented easy targets as they moved predictably through space without any defensive coordination or evasive maneuvers. The human weapons fired in perfect sequence, creating a continuous stream of destruction that carved through the scattered enemy formation. Each plasma bolt found its target with inhuman precision, vaporizing the organic alien hulls upon impact. Chief Engineer Choi Yun-ah monitored the ship's systems as they operated at maximum efficiency. The human technology had proven its superiority not just in raw power but in reliability and endurance. The weapon systems showed no signs of fatigue or degradation despite the intense combat. 3 more Valkyrie ships exploded in brilliant flashes of bioenergy as the human weapons found their marks. The organic vessels burned with strange colored flames as their biological components were consumed by the superheated plasma. The remaining alien ships attempted to flee, but their movements were too slow and predictable to escape. The human targeting systems, the Sol's Pride, pursued each vessel methodically, ensuring that none could escape to report the battle's outcome to other Valkyrie forces. Captain Kim Tae-ho felt no satisfaction in the slaughter, but recognized the necessity of sending a clear message to any alien species that might consider challenging humanity. The complete destruction of the Valkyrie fleet would serve as a warning to others. 2 more bioships were eliminated as they tried to reach the edge of the engagement zone. The human sensors tracked every movement, allowing the weapons systems to predict flight paths and intercept the fleeing vessels before they could escape. Park So-min reported that only 5 alien ships remained operational, and all were attempting to flee in different directions. The human warship would need to hunt down each survivor individually to prevent any intelligence from reaching the Valkyrie Empire. The hunt continued with deadly efficiency as Sol's Pride changed course to pursue the fastest fleeing vessel. The human ship's superior speed and maneuverability made escape impossible for the slower bioships that had been designed for overwhelming weaker opponents. Lee Dong-wook eliminated the fleeing vessel with a single precise shot that struck its engine section. The alien ship tumbled through space, trailing biomatter before exploding in a cascade of organic debris. The destruction was both beautiful and terrible to witness. The 4th surviving ship attempted to hide behind a small asteroid, but the human sensors easily detected its location. The bioship's organic composition made it highly visible to the advanced scanning systems that equipped all human warships. Captain Kim Tae-ho ordered the destruction of the hiding vessel to demonstrate that there was no escape from human justice. The plasma cannon fired once and the alien ship vanished in a brief flash of light that illuminated the asteroid's surface. 3 alien vessels remained, but they were scattered across a wide area, making the hunt more challenging. The human crew worked with professional efficiency to track down each survivor and eliminate them before they could reach the edge of the star. The Soul's Pride accelerated toward the nearest fleeing bioship, which was broadcasting distress signals on all frequencies. The alien crew was begging for mercy in their own language, but the human ship showed no response to their pleas. Park So-min translated the alien distress calls, but Captain Kim Tae-ho remained focused on his mission. The Valkyrie had shown no mercy when they demanded human surrender, and would receive none in return. The law of space was harsh but fair. The fifth alien ship died under human weapons fire as it attempted to reach hyperspace. The bio-vessel's organic hull ruptured and spilled its contents into the vacuum of space. The sight was disturbing but necessary for completing the mission too. Bioships remained, and both were now broadcasting surrender messages in broken human language. The aliens had apparently learned some human words during their conquest of other species, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. Lee Dong-wook eliminated the first surrendering vessel with a quick shot that ended its transmission abruptly. The human crew felt no sympathy for enemies who had demanded unconditional surrender just minutes earlier. The aliens had chosen this path. The final Valkyrie ship attempted one last desperate maneuver, spinning wildly through space while broadcasting every surrender phrase it knew in multiple languages. The bioship's crew was clearly terrified, but their fear came too late to save them. Captain Kim Tae-ho gave the order to eliminate the last enemy vessel. The plasma cannon fired one final time, and the last of the mighty Valkyrie fleet was reduced to floating debris. The battle was over, and humanity had achieved total victory. The space around Soul's Pride was filled with the remains of 50 alien warships, while the human vessel remained virtually undamaged. The crew had performed flawlessly, demonstrating the superiority of human training and technology over biological warfare. Chief Engineer Choi Yuna reported that all systems were operating normally despite the intense combat. The human warship was ready for immediate redeployment if other threats appeared. The victory had been achieved with minimal resource expenditure. Park So-min began scanning for any surviving alien escape pods or communication devices. The human doctrine required complete elimination of enemy intelligence capabilities to prevent information about human tactics from reaching other hostile species. The battlefield was silent except for the soft hum of Soul's Pride systems. As the ship completed its post-battle procedures, the crew had proven that human military technology and tactics were superior to anything the galaxy could produce. The silence of space settled over the battlefield as Captain Kim Tae-ho surveyed the complete destruction of the Valkyrie fleet. 50 alien warships had been reduced to floating debris and scattered biomatter, while Soul's Pride remained virtually untouched by the engagement. Human warship drifted slowly through the debris field as the crew conducted post-battle analysis. Park So-min coordinated the damage assessment teams, while Lee Dong-wook secured the weapon systems. Chief Engineer Choi Yun-ah began routine maintenance procedures to ensure peak readiness. Captain Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge contemplating the significance of what had just occurred. The battle had proven that human military technology was superior to anything the Valkyrie Empire could produce, but it had also demonstrated something more important about human nature. The communication systems suddenly came alive with incoming transmissions from across the galaxy. News of the fleet's destruction was spreading rapidly through alien communication networks. The Valkyrie Empire's supposedly invincible armada had been eliminated by a single human warship. Park So-min reported that they were receiving distress signals from other Valkyrie forces in nearby star systems. The alien empire was experiencing widespread panic as news of their defeat reached military commanders throughout their territory. Captain Kim Tae-ho realized that this battle would have consequences far beyond the immediate tactical victory. The complete destruction of a major alien fleet would send shockwaves through the galactic community and force other species to reconsider their attitudes toward humanity. The captain decided to send a message to the Valkyrie Empire and any other alien civilizations that might be monitoring the battle's aftermath. The communication would establish human intentions and prevent future conflicts through clear demonstration of human capabilities. Lee Dong-wook prepared the ship's long-range communication systems for a galaxy-wide broadcast. The message would be transmitted across multiple star systems using the most powerful communication arrays available to the human fleet. Captain Kim Tae-ho recorded a simple but powerful statement, explaining that humanity desired peaceful coexistence with all alien species, but would defend itself against any aggression. The message was clear and direct without unnecessary threats or diplomatic language. The broadcast began with identification of the human warship, and its commanding officer, Captain Kim Tae-ho, spoke calmly and professionally as he explained the circumstances that had led to the battle. The aliens had demanded surrender and faced the consequences of their aggression. The message continued with a detailed explanation of human military capabilities and the futility of attempting to conquer human space. The demonstration provided by the destruction of the Valkyrie fleet served as proof that humanity could defend itself against any threat. Park So-min ensured that the transmission was sent using multiple communication frequencies and protocols to guarantee that every alien civilization would receive the message. The human government wanted no misunderstandings about their position or capabilities. The captain concluded his message with an offer of peaceful trade and cooperation for any species that respected human sovereignty. The door remained open for diplomatic relations, but the consequences of aggression had been clearly demonstrated. Chief Engineer Choi Yeon-ah reported that the ship's systems were operating at full capacity and ready for immediate deployment. The human warship could respond to any new threats within minutes of detection. The crew remained at battle stations despite the apparent victory. The galaxy-wide broadcast was completed and the message began propagating through space at light speed. Within hours, every major alien civilization would know about the destruction of the Valkyrie fleet and the military capabilities of the human species. Monitoring stations throughout human space detected the immediate impact of the message as alien military forces began withdrawing from the borders of human territory. The demonstration had achieved its intended effect of deterring future aggression. Captain Kim Tae-ho ordered Seoul's Pride to resume its patrol mission, but with heightened alertness. The crew knew that this victory might only be the beginning of a larger conflict. As other alien species decided how to respond to human military strength, the ship's sensors detected multiple alien vessels at the edge of the star system, but they were maintaining safe distances and showing no aggressive intent. The message had clearly been received and understood by potential enemies. Park So-min reported that alien communication networks were buzzing with discussions about the battle and its implications. Some species were expressing interest in peaceful contact, while others were reconsidering their expansion plans. The Seoul's Pride continued its patrol through the outer rim of the galaxy. Now recognized as a symbol of human military power, the crew remained vigilant, knowing that their victory had changed the balance of power in the galaxy. Lee Dong-wook kept the weapon systems ready for immediate activation. The crew understood that their demonstration of human capabilities had likely prevented many future conflicts, but had also marked humanity as a force to be reckoned with. Captain Kim Tae-ho reflected on the day's events as his ship moved through the starfield. The battle had been decisive, but the real victory was the message it sent to the galaxy. Humanity would not be conquered or intimidated by any alien force. The communication systems continued to receive transmissions from across the galaxy. As alien civilizations processed the implications of the Valkyrie defeat, some messages expressed respect for human military prowess, while others contained thinly veiled threats. Chief Engineer Choi Yeon-ah monitored the ship's systems as they returned to normal patrol operations. The human technology had performed flawlessly during the battle, proving that humanity's engineering capabilities were superior to anything the aliens possessed. The story of the battle began spreading through human space as well, with news of the victory boosting morale throughout the fleet. The crew of Seoul's Pride had proven that humanity could defend itself against overwhelming odds. Captain Kim Tae-ho knew that the galaxy would never be the same after this day. The destruction of the Valkyrie fleet had demonstrated that humans were not just another species to be conquered, but a force that demanded respect and fear the soul's pride, disappeared into the darkness of space, continuing its mission to protect human territory. The crew remained ready to face any challenge, knowing that they had proven humanity's place among the stars through strength and determination. The message had been sent and received throughout the galaxy. Humanity would not be conquered, and any species that challenged human warships would face the same fate as the Valkyrie Empire. Total destruction awaited those who underestimated human resolve.